And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today, we're going to be talking about Jaden Daniels' recent comments about the Terry McLaurin situation and getting him the football, and really what Cliff Kingsbury had to say about getting Terry McLaurin the football. And so, look, here we go, going into what both had to say. And so, look, you have Jaden Daniels saying that obviously he is a playmaker, and he says, I want to get the guys the ball as much as possible. Daniel said, Terry's a dynamic player, but the defense dictates where the football goes. So I got to go out there and do my job. And then you have Cliff Kingsbury talking about Terry's the guy we have got to get the ball to more, get more targets throughout the game. Kingsbury said there's no doubt about that. And so look, I think that at the end of the day here, there's been a lot made about, just what is going on with this offense and how it's just maybe gotten a bit more stagnant and hasn't been figured out. And I'm not sure if it has. I mean, I think that there are some data points that suggest that maybe that is the case, especially when you have Terry McLaurin kind of repeatedly lining up in the same positions. And so that's something that you have got to definitely go out there and correct. You need to put him in different situations. But is it more of a situation now that the Washington Commanders need more offensive help? I think that that is a very valid question when you think about it, because you wonder, like, do they need another wide receiver? Should they have gone out and got another wide receiver? And so I think when the front office went out, they made the deal for Marshawn Lattimore. I think that they felt that this offense could continue on its pace, and it's been good. Like we saw the offense really get clicking in the fourth quarter, but it just did not put it together throughout the four quarters of the game, which the Washington Commanders need. And I think that they can do it. I think it's just a matter of they're going to have to open up the playbook for other guys. And so, what that means, and just looking at some of the statistics that we have as far as just the wide receivers on this team, you have Zach Ertz. He's coming in. He has 49 receptions. And so you see that Terry McLaurin has 53 receptions. So he's not far off. The targets have been there for Zach Ertz at 69. You have 74 for Terry McLaurin. But this is where it gets interesting, because the yards for Terry McLaurin, 823 on the season. You have Zach Ertz at 466. And I get that the targets are there, but I think that you've got to continue to try to maybe pepper more targets to a Zach Ertz, to Noah Brown. That means you got to get more creative, get these guys out in space. And I think that they can certainly open it up for a player like Terry McLaurin. And I do see, probably what is happening is that because the Washington Commanders really haven't established, another type of wide receiver two next to Terry McLaurin, then yeah, that's going to give defenses chances to bog down. And I think also too, another thing that's probably slowed this offense down is just that the running game has not been as great as it was the first couple weeks of the season, or the first half of the season. And so I continue to keep saying it, that I think that you have to run the football well. And I think that Cliff Kingsbury was talking about Brian Robinson Jr. and his ability to go out there and get 5 or 6 yards a carry. And you don't even have to be perfect, blocking, because he is a very physical runner when he's out there, and really creates some space. And so, that is, I think, really the biggest question for me, is just what are the Washington Commanders going to do there? Because I've talked about Brian Robinson Jr. I've talked about the injuries that he's facing. And I think that it is really starting to affect his game, because I'm seeing that there are trends where you see him out there for, spurts, and then you're not seeing him out there for a little bit. We don't have Austin Eckler. We're going to have to really, I think, rely on a Chris Rodriguez Jr. to give us that power. I'm glad that they went ahead and re-signed him. We need to use Jeremy McNichols more. And I think that as you continue to run the football, you're going to be in situations where, yes, the down marker is going to be closer. But I think also, too, that's going to open it up for more play action fakes and things like that. And then that is where Cliff Kingsbury is going to have to really be creative with these RPOs and things like that, and really get it into other players' hands, and hopefully they're able to make some plays in space. Like, I would love to see a little bit more of Ben Sanud. I would love to see a little bit more of a player like Luke McCaffrey. Like, I want to see that, because right now, after Zach Ertz, right, this is really what the receptions breakdowns are, because you have Noah Brown. He's made some plays for us, 32 receptions. After that, you have Austin Eckler, who's going to be out for this game at 33, Zacchaeus at 24, and then there's a huge drop off after that. You have De'Ami Brown at 16, you have Luke McCaffrey at 14, Brian Robinson Jr. at 11. And so, look, we've got to, if you don't have a wide receiver too, and you're not going to go out there and get one via free agent that might still be out there, clearly we can't do anything now that the trade deadline is gone. We got to find ways to get the ball to other players to hopefully open it up. And so I'm hoping that the Washington Commanders can make this adjustment. This is something that they're going to have to do, because I think now we're also seeing that defenses they're blitzing Jaden Daniels a little bit more, and we're starting to see some tendencies where he gets locked in on certain sides of the fields and things like that. And so, look, the Washington Commanders, they've got to get back to the basics, and then from the basics go from there. And I think that just, again, moving some formations, doing some different things, getting some players in some different spots, I think that would do wonders for this Washington Commanders team and really unlocking this offense, and they need to get it done. And so let me know in the comments what you're thinking here, because I think that the bottom line for the Washington Commanders to get off of this recent losing game streak is they're going to have to play complementary football, because even if the offense is not playing well or it's figured out, when you're in plus territory like you were last week against the Dallas Cowboys, you got to find ways to score touchdowns. I mean, you can't just go out there and kick field goals and things like that. And I don't think that's something that's really not talked about as much too, as well. As much as we've talked about just this team really trying to unlock the playbook and things like that, we're not even talking about the fact that they should be taking advantage of some scoring opportunities. And so that's something that the Washington Commanders, I think, when they're rolling, it's been special, right? They've been able to put up the points and things like that. When you're not putting up the touchdowns when you need them now, and your defense is getting stops, I think that becomes an issue. So complementary football has to come back into the picture for this Washington Commanders if they are going to get off of this losing streak. So let me know in the comments, again, what do you think's going to be the major fix for the Washington Commanders? And is it Cliff Kingsbury? Is it Jaden Daniels? Is it, hey, we got to do something to force the ball into Terry McLaurin? I'd love to know what your thoughts are here. So make sure that you go ahead and mash that subscribe button and hit the like as we continue to talk about nothing but Washington Commanders football every day on this channel. And so we are one day away from this a huge game, I'm going to call it, against the Tennessee Titans, because we need our Washington Commanders to break this losing streak. And so this is Rico. This is Washington Commanders Insider. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, peace, peace.